A strong pitching staff to an American League East Division title. They look for more of the same this year, but it is a numbers game. How many pitchers will they carry, and who will they be? We look to answer some of those questions and more. The Orioles Rays next on Massive. It's the Orioles on Masson and the spring training home of the Birds right here in Sarasota as the Rays come to town to take on the Orioles. Second meeting out of 5 that these two teams will have this season. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. Believe it or not, and the rest of Major League Baseball, we start approaching the midway mark of spring training when decisions have got to be made. Some of those on the Orioles obviously are going to regard pitching. Brian Mattis, who is starting today, may be one of those players whose time with the Orioles is in question. He has been used as a reliever primarily, but take a look at the numbers. As a starter, you see, at the Major League level, he struggled. As a reliever, much better. The reason he was much better as a reliever, if you look at the numbers on the bottom, is that differential between right-handers and left-handers against him. The other number you see, looking as a starter at the minor league level, that's what the Orioles had hoped he was going to be. It hasn't worked out that way, and now there's a crunch in the bullpen regarding left-handers, Mike Bordick. Where does he fit?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be an important spring for Brian Mattis, not only to prove himself to the Orioles and the fact that he can possibly get back into that starting role or even a long man out of this Orioles bullpen, but to the other teams in all of baseball, because there are a lot of players on this Orioles team that are out of options. They're not going to be able to send guys out, so there are spots that need to be vacated for other guys to make these fill in these other spots. So Brian Mattis is one of these guys that has to show his versatility. He's already proven he can match up against lefties. One of the best in the game the last 3 seasons, but he's had some trouble facing the righties, and he's got to prove to himself, build his confidence back up that he can get righties out. And who knows, Buck might use him in the starting role or even spot starts during the season.
Or maybe he will be one of those involved in a trade with the Orioles. Lots of scouts on hand to watch as Mattis makes the start. When we come back, Orioles baseball here in Sarasota and all the delicious sideline items that go with it. brought to you by Sarasota. There's so much to see and do in the beaches and islands of Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium to Siesta Beach, named winner of the 2015 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards for beaches. Plan now at visitsarasota.org. Another day in the mid-80s as we get set for baseball here at Ed Smith Stadium, and Rays in town. They are 3-6 so far this spring. Players battling for spots. David DeJesus, Forsyth Cabrera, the newly added Asdrubal Cabrera. Jaso Rivera is going to do catching for them. Franklin Kiermaier, Beckham, and Elmore. Kevin Kiermaier is going to play center field this year, probably on a platoon basis. There are the numbers from last year.
And let's look at the scouting report for Brian Mattis. He's looking to stretch it out. Yeah, of course, he's used lefty-lefty matchup the last 3 seasons, but he still has starter in his heart. So he's looking to add on to the innings this spring and prove that he can belong back in the rotation. He's looking to build confidence, though, facing the right-handers. We talked about it in the open. He's had great success against lefties. The right-handers is where he's lost that confidence. Has to use the full arsenal against the righties. He's had a devastating changeup in the past. He needs to get back on track with that pitch and mix them up. Here's a look at his numbers this spring. 2 games, 1-1 record, 2.70 earned run average, has 5 punch-outs, no walks on the season, so staying very aggressive in the zone.
So, Brian ready to go to work under mostly light, fluffy, cloudy skies with lots of sunshine coming through and a wind, of course, blowing to left field. First pitch will be taken inside for a ball, and we are underway on this 85-degree afternoon here in Sarasota. For David DeJesus, you see the numbers. During the spring training, DeJesus makes the start in right field. He will pop that one up high sky, third base. Manny Machado is there, and he will put it away. DeJesus out of there for the out.
Now let's take a look at this Orioles defense behind Brian Mattis this afternoon. The outfield featuring Deaza, Jones, and Steve Pearce. Up the middle, Hardy and Navarro. Machado and Davis on the corners, and Clevenger getting the start behind the plate.
A lot of Oriole regulars in the lineup, as they will be from now on, especially in games being played here at home. Here is Logan Forsythe. Forsythe getting the start at first base in the ball game. Outfield pretty much straight away on him. Pitch will be taken up high. He's only had a couple of hits. One of those was a home run and a couple of RBIs. 5 strikeouts and a walk this spring for the veteran Forsythe. Infield also pretty much straight up and back at second and short. He will take the pitch. It'll miss inside for a ball. The count will go to 2-0 from Brian Mattis.
I miss him with a couple fastballs right there. But Brian Mattis, since going to the bullpen, his fastball velocity has clicked up a little bit, primarily working it in the low 90s. And I think if he can keep that velocity up there, it'll certainly pay dividends when he starts throwing that changeup more to the righties.
2-0 count. Fastball count. And the pitch will catch the outside corner for a strike. John Hirschbeck, the veterans, got the plate in this umpiring crew. Tim Welke and Bill Welke at first and second. And Chris Siegel will be the umpire at third base of the ball game today. Logan Forsythe waiting on a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And will take a ball with a wrinkle on the inside. Did not go around on it. They checked with Tim Welke down to first base. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count now on Forsythe.
Pretty good slider right there from Brian Mattis, burying it down and in. Now, this would be a great opportunity if he's feeling comfortable with that changeup to throw it right here.
3-1 delivery on the way down to short. Hardy deep in the hole. Makes the play over to first, gets the out. Forsythe's retired. There are 2 down.
With a pretty good fastball, though, well located down and away to get the ground ball to Hardy. The defense has been as good as there has been in all of baseball the past few years. Of course, headed by J.J. Hardy, backbone up the middle.
So a 2 down, nobody on. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Now, Cabrera's going to play, and we'll see a lot of him this season against the Orioles. Veteran shortstop, switch hitter. The question is, where is he going to play? There's no question that the range Cabrera has been noted for in his younger years at short is no longer there. And for Kevin Cash, the new manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, talking with him this morning, he said over the next week and a half, we're going to be shuffling Cabrera and Franklin, who you're going to see in the lineup, Nick Franklin, between second and short, back and forth. But he said, I want to make a decision on who's going to play where sooner than later. So it's not so much the at-bats that matter in the case of Franklin and Cabrera. It's about how they play in the field as to where they're going to be playing come opening day against the Orioles.
Yeah, exactly. And Cabrera got some time at second base last season, so he does have some versatility. Range might be a little shorter over on the left side of the infield playing shortstop. There are some younger players in camp that he's going to help as well. Beckham is going to be moving from short and second base as well. So I think having the veteran infielder around is certainly going to make the younger players better.
Brian Mattis will miss down low with that one. Cabrera gets ahead on the count 3-0. For Brian, he pitched against Toronto, an inning, no runs on a hit, had a strikeout last outing against the Phillies, 2 1/3, with a run on 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. As Mike mentioned, he has not walked anybody here this spring. That ball is going to be a base hit. He reached out and plunked it on a 3-0 count. Cabrera will make the big turn. De Aza will get it in. And as Drupal Cabrera is on with a 2-out single.
Well, veteran hitter gets the green light on a 3-0 count. A lot of times younger players get too big, try to do too much. There's a fastball on the outside corner, but he stays through this, able to get a clean single down the left field line.
And that will give Jaso the opportunity, their cleanup batter in the lineup. Left-handed hitter John Jaso, who is making the start in left field in the ball game today. And this, of course, is where Brian Mattis has been so good and being able to get the left-handers out. Down to first and foul, he ripped that into the seats. He got way around on that one.
Yeah, he was not going to wait around to get deep in the count. He got a first-pitch fastball and got the head out. That's the way you want to be, aggressive there. Certainly don't want to get it jammed if you're hunting a fastball early. You're just a little too anxious there, pulling it foul.
Jaso's going to be the DH. At least that's where he is penciled in for the coming season. And we'll play that almost every game. He'll make the start. He is making the start in left field here in this ball game. Infield pulled around on him, not the complete distance. Good off-speed delivery. Actually tipped the bat on the way by, said umpire Hirschbeck, and the count will go to 2 strikes from Brian Mattis.
Yeah, nice breaking ball there. Sweeps across, catches that outside corner. Brian has felt so comfortable against left-handed hitters, and I think a lot of pitchers go through these stages, and in some ways you look at Brian and say, well, this could be his niche, but I think he's a starter at heart, and he really wants to prove that he can get out there, start games.
Did he go? Yes, he did. They punch him out down at third. Good help there from Clevenger, the catcher, who immediately started to the dugout before the umpire had even made the call. Good inning for Brian Mattis. On this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Lots of big crowds throughout Major League Baseball, both here and in Arizona. The Orioles starting lineup: De Aza, Hardy, and Davis, Jones, Pearson, Machado, Young, Clevenger, and Ray Navarro gets a start. For Steve, last season, a breakout year with a big average, 21 homers, 49 RBIs.
And let's take a look at the scouting report this afternoon for Nathan Carnes. There's an opportunity in the rotation. Came over from the Nationals last year. Actually got called up to the big leagues in September. But there have been a lot of spots that have been filled up. But just recently, Smiley, a little shoulder tendonitis, and also Another pitcher.
Colomb.
Yeah, he has pneumonia, and he had visa problems. So here's fourth or fifth spot could open up for Carnes. Got to prove himself. He does have a big arm. That fastball can get up to mid-high 90s. And a big curveball as well. But the problem is repeating the delivery. He's had some command problems in the past. So if he can clean it up and repeat it, and more consistent, will certainly help his cause. Had a strong spring, just a 1.80 earned run average. So he's looking to build on that.
He has the best curveball in the Rays organization, if you go by what the scouts have reported back to the front office. And Cash was saying this morning, Kevin Cash, Tampa Bay manager, he likes the breaking ball already that he's seeing. Here is Alejandro De Aza. De Aza back in that leadoff spot. He's been sharing that here in this spring training, playing in left field. Will foul that one back. De Aza looking for a spot in the lineup. 2 hits, 16 at-bats. One of those a home run, couple of RBIs. Had only 3 strikes, only 1 strikeout, and only 1 walk, so he's put the ball in play. Showalter will keep an eye on this game, and at 2 o'clock over on the backfields, the Puerto Rican developmental team is going to be playing against the Orioles, and it's not exactly a split squad. Strikeout and the play made. 1 down.
Look at that good curveball from Carnes. But let's take a look at the Rays defense. Jaso, Kiermaier, and Jesus in the outfield. Cabrera and Beckham up the middle. Elmore and Forsythe on the corners, and Rivera behind the plate.
Tell you about the game against Puerto Rico on the B game. It's not an official spring training game, exhibition game. And Matt Wieters will be going behind the plate to catch in that ball game. And Chris Tillman will be making the start against Puerto Rico. Matt is not free to throw to second base. And the Orioles can designate the rules for the game, so there may be no base stealing in that game. Apparently that's what the Orioles are going to do, as they do not want Matt Wieters throwing yet, although he will go behind the plate for the first time. J.J. Hardy in the 0-1 delivery, sliced in the air to right center. Wind is blowing to left, so it's going to hold it up a little bit, because the wind's blowing pretty hard. Kiermaier got over, put it away, and J.J. Hardy retired.
A nice swing right there by J.J. Hardy. I was talking to him yesterday about his swing, and he wants to get that lead arm straightened out a little bit. Says he can get more pop, more backspin on the baseball. He smoked that ball pretty good in the right center gap. Hopefully get his confidence going, find some more holes out there in the outfield grass.
And that'll bring up Chris Davis. Chris in the number 3 spot in the lineup. Again, getting the start at first base in this ball game. Chris 2 for 14. 1 home run, 5 RBIs, and there he is bunting for a base hit. This is one of those rare occasions where Davis and the Orioles, they're willing to give up the extra base hit and maybe the home run. It's early in the ball game. You'd like to get a base runner out there. You get Adam Jones waiting on deck. And whether he bunts or not with his shift on, Mike, just depends on the situation.
Well, it sure does. And I think it's great that he's showing this to the Tampa Bay Rays early. Might give them thinking about it throughout the season when the wins and losses really do matter. Because if you can get a guy on base, and we've talked about this before, on-base percentage is going to be big this year. They need to get more guys on base and then let the boppers go to work driving them in. They had a little bit of a hard time with the amount of opportunities with guys on base last year. So if you can get on base any way you can. You're going to see the top of the lineup all the way to the bottom trying to do things to get themselves out there.
Buck Showalter, Kevin Cash, the manager, new manager, of course, for Joe Madden on the Tampa Bay side. Had a chance to talk with him this morning. What a situation he's put in. He has never managed before, period. So his first job is with Tampa Bay. That's great, but you replace Madden, Ikes. That's tough. He's an icon in Tampa and around baseball. And then you got a squad that's only half of the players you had last year. You're relying on pitching, which should be really good, and already 2 of your starters are in trouble. The Smiley having the problem, and with a tender shoulder, he's going to start throwing again tomorrow. And Colomb, who had trouble, as Mike said, with a visa problem, got up here, now has pneumonia. Right. So he's been in the hospital. So 2 of you guys in the starting rotation already bothered. That one left center field, wind blowing out that way. Warning track and hauled in. Kiermaier goes back to get it. Chris Davis bidding for an opposite field home run. So Carnes retires the side in order. It's the stadium some of the likes to enjoy. weeks away, believe it or not. You can get ready for the season securing your spots with the Orioles full or partial season plan. Season plan members enjoy exclusive ticket savings, Major League's most flexible exchange policy, guaranteed access to postseason tickets, and a lot of orange carpet benefits. Don't miss out. Great season coming up. Visit Orioles.com/tickets. Call 888-848-BIRD. And, of course, the Orioles will be going up against this Tampa Bay team in the first 3 games of the regular season, playing at the Trop in St. Pete. Games on the 6th, 7th, and 8th will be the openers for both of these ball clubs. Brian Mattis going back to work. Here's Rene Rivera. As was put succinctly by one of the players of Tampa Bay this morning, we are riding Rivera as far as we can.
You're right.
He is their catcher. He's going to be their starter. If he's lucky, he may get a break once in a while, but he's the one you're going to see behind the plate for this ball club. Brian Mattis drops it in.
Well, good experience. He's been around a little bit. He has this will be his 4th year in the major leagues, but he's been to a few different organizations, came from the Padres, and they're counting on him to do some big things with that pitching staff.
Brian Mattis coming in with a heater up and in that time, and it'll go to a ball and 2 strikes. For the left-hander, Brian Mattis, an opportunity here. He's a first-round pick, of course, 4th overall in 2008 by the Orioles. It's not gone the way it was planned. He's been an outstanding reliever, coming in, getting that big left-handed out in a ball game. Now the question is, can the Orioles afford to continue to have him in that role? Is there room for him in that role on this team? Or could he be involved in a trade with another ball club that might want to use him as a starter or out of the bullpen? All issues to be answered. 1-2 delivery, nasty pitch, and gets him on a K.
Well, that really was. And Brian Mattis used his full arsenal here against Rivera, really mixing things up. Fastball, curveball, here the hard slider down and in. Out of the hand, looks like the fastball. He gears up for it and just disappears. You saw his legs kind of buckle right in there, trying to catch up with that pitch. Beautiful slider from Mattis.
Great pitch. That'll get right-handers out.
It sure will. Well, I like the fact that he mixed it up. You know, keep a hitter off balance, mixed in the real slow breaking ball in that at bat. There's another one there, and then when you snap one off, kind of catches hitters off guard, and you got to keep them thinking up there, keep them guessing. And when Mattis is on his game, he can do that to right-handed hitters.
1-0 count. This is Nick Franklin, who's the designated hitter in the ball game today, and will take the pitch inside. Count will fall to 2-0. Franklin, 24 years old, youngster. Last year, AAA Durham, after coming over from Seattle in a trade. And one of the primary players involved in that deal. They are really looking for Franklin to be a regular somewhere on the ball club. Pitch will be grounded down to third. That is just foul. And the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. He's a graduate of high school Lake Brentley, which is just north of Orlando. So he is a Florida native getting an opportunity. He appeared with Seattle a couple of years ago, playing at second base and shortstop for them in 92 starts. So he's had some major league experience. Ball down low, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike on Nick Franklin.
Well, the Rays lost a lot of players. They lost Zobrist and probably the most versatile player in the game. They're looking for players to fill that void. I mean, for a long time, Ben Zobrist was playing outfield, infield.
That ball tagged in the air. Wind's going to help carry it way back. It'll take a hop off the top and over. So Franklin will deliver as he picks up the long double. Able to pull that one into left field. And Tampa Bay picks up their second hit of the ballgame.
Take a look at Franklin's swing right here. Elevated fastball. He pulls the hands in tight, and this ball is whistled up and over the top of the wall. See Diaza putting the hands up for the ground rule double.
So a scoring chance, the first extra base hit. That will bring Kevin Kiermaier to the plate. Kiermaier has already been told by his manager he's going to play center field. He's not going to be moving around in the outfield this year, but he may be in a platoon situation in center field. So he'll play against the right-handers, but probably not against the lefties. And the pitch is taken for a strike by Kiermaier.
Lefties have certainly given him some problems, even throughout the minor leagues. So these opportunities he gets in spring training prove to himself that he can handle lefties, put together some good at-bats, and maybe Cash will feel confident keeping him out there.
Well, we'll go to center. Jones was playing very shallow, right where he needed to be. Kiermaier is retired, and there are 2 down, leaving Franklin on at second base. Adam, with a lot of playing time out there in center field here in spring training, is getting his first 2 at-bats, now 3 at-bats a ball game, as both position players and pitchers extend themselves a little more here in spring training. It has been a very warm spring here in Florida. We've hit 90 degrees last couple of days, and it has to be somewhere probably around 7 or 8 degrees above, if not 10 degrees above average here. Beautiful weather. Humidity's been down. But boy, the heat out of that sun can burn you in a hurry. Runner at second, 2 away. Here's Tim Beckham.
Yeah, so wear your sunscreen, but don't complain about it, because there's a lot of people that are still in freezing cold weather.
Not complaining. But boy, that's absolute truth. You must have sunscreen on here. At least 30 or better in the sun. Beckham starting at second base. In the mix, the infield in this ball club. He is only 25 years old, out of Griffin, Georgia. He was selected as the first-round pick in the June draft of 2008 out of high school. He was the number 1 rated high school player in the country by at least 3 of those rating services. And as a result, had a lot of minor league time going back to 2008. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Hirschbeck calls the strike, and it'll go to 2-1. So Beckham had a anterior cruciate ligament problem. Played only 15 games after returning from the injury last year at AAA. So this year, really looking to find a place in this team. He's played only 7, had 7 major league at bats. Runner goes, throw down Steve Clevenger, and not in time. Nick Franklin gets stolen base.
A pretty good pitch to handle right there from Clevenger, and Manny slapping the tag down. But take a look at Franklin's jump. Got a little movement with his feet. Clevenger coming out of the gates really well. Strong throw. Tag gets up on the knee. And take a look here. Franklin's foot getting in there safely.
So the runner at third now with 2 down and a 3-ball. 1 strike count on Beckham, hitting 8th. 3-1 delivery time and a swing and a miss. Another one with good sink that ended up down and away.
Yeah, that's a plus changeup right there from Brian Mattis. Once again, he's facing these righties. He's mixing up his pitches, gets into a great hitter's count, and drops the nasty Bugs Bunny change on him, gets him out in front.
Those numbers we've talked about, left-handers 223 against him, right-handers 277 last year. And he gets the inside corner at the knees. Beckham thought he was going to go to first base. Real good 2 innings. Brian Mattis now has picked up 3 strikeouts. Orioles coming up, no score. I'm Mike Wardick. Dom Cheedy joining us. He is officially listed as the bullpen coach, but if you ask Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, he's the other pitching coach for this team. Dom, how you doing?
Good. Good afternoon, guys.
How you doing? Look, would you give us a couple of innings there by Brian Mattis? Looks like some pretty good stuff. What do you see?
Yeah, Brian's doing well. I mean, he dedicated himself this offseason, and, things are working out for him right now.
Well, he's mixing up his pitches pretty well. Looks like he's throwing a hard slider, cutter down in there.
Yeah, it's a good slider. He's got 2 strikeouts, I think, on it. But, the fastball command is there, and his changeup has really improved.
Dom, anybody who surprised you on the pitching side of it so far this spring?
No, I think most of the guys are doing, what we kind of thought they would do, and we're real encouraged by all of them.
Of course, you're trying to put this team together, the bullpen, especially for you. Any bright spots for the young arms that you've seen in camp?
Yeah, some of our minor league kids that have come up, Mike Wright, some of the young guys, and Tyler Wilson. Those guys have really been impressive, and also the Rule 5 guys that we took, in Jason Garcia and Logan Barrett.
Fine play by David DeJesus right there, as the wind helped hold that in, even though it was in foul territory, and Adam Jones is retired on the fly ball. That'll bring Steve Pearce up to the plate. We talk about the spring, Dom, about what Buck's trying to do, what you're trying to do with the pitchers, about starters in particular, getting a couple more outs. How do you go about getting that accomplished?
Well, I think the maturity process is going to take over with a lot of these guys. And, last year was a big year for them, and also pitching later in the season into October was good. And I think a lot of guys learned a lot about themselves. So, I think that translates to the course of the next season, which is this year.
Hey, Dom, when you go about filling out a roster or a lineup here to break camp with, and you look at the players we have and so many out of options, how many plans do you need in place? Or you just try to get everybody ready and hope everybody has a good spring and wait till the last week to make a decision?
Well, Wally and I have a big job in trying to get everybody ready to start the season. There are some priorities, certain guys that we know are going to be on the club. And also the other part of it is to get the guys that we're evaluating out on the field so we can evaluate them. So does it fall into the last week? Yeah, but, we try to get everybody ready for the season.
What's the plan on extending pitchers here? Because while you want to get them extended, Dom, there's also been talk about trying to limit, especially for some of the starters, the number of pitches and innings pitched. How do you work that out, balance that?
Well, I think most of that's already been accomplished in the way we started, a little bit slower than we did last year. And also a lot of it's accomplished before the guys get to spring training, that they don't throw quite as much as they normally would if they were fighting to make a club. Some of the guys that pitched into October, they put it off a week or 10 days. And so most of that we've already accomplished.
And there's the value of the shift, as Beckham, the second baseman, is playing over on the other side against Pierce and gets the ground ball out. And there are 2 down.
Well, when we see Brian Mattis throw today, Dom, you can kind of look at him in a lot of different potential roles. If he continues to impress, I think starting maybe a long man out of the pen. He's certainly proven himself with lefty-lefty matchups. Do you like to see everybody with as much versatility as possible?
Yeah, I think we looked at last year, and, we saw Tommy Hunter end up pitching 2 innings. We saw Brad Brock come in and pitch multiple innings. Darren pitched multiple innings. Even when Andrew was here, he pitched multiple innings. And if you look back, I think there was one stint that Brian pitched over 3 innings. But the more versatile our guys in the bullpen can be, the better off it's going to serve our club.
Dom, we really appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you as we go along in the spring and during the season. Thanks for taking time, and good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
Dom Cheedy, the Orioles assistant pitching coach, works out in the bullpen. 2 down, nobody on. Here is Manny Machado. Everything hoped for from Manny so far for the Orioles is coming to fruition. Great time at the plate so far this spring. He's 6 for 17, hitting .353. He's picked up an RBI, only a couple of strikeouts, 1 walk, making contact. Has made the big plays at third base, and honestly, probably in another, couple of games, or even right now, the Orioles got to be saying, let's get the season started.
Yeah. He looks like he's ready to roll. He had that look in his eye the first day of spring training. His defense was there. I know last year when he came back up to the big leagues, he was a little tentative out in the field. It seems like he was kind of testing himself, his movement. But this spring, he's been outstanding. Take a look at him swinging the bat, finding base hits, holes all over the place. He's got the quick hands, and defensively, my, oh my, looks like the Platinum Gold Glove winner of a couple years ago. He is all over the place, flashing the strong arm. looking as tight as ever over there at the hot corner.
Great news for the Orioles. Karn's delivery is going to miss outside, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down, nobody on, no score. We are in the second inning. Delman Young waiting in the DH role if Manny Machado can extend the inning. For Buck Showalter, chance to again shuffle the lineup a little bit, keep the guys like Machado in, getting their at-bats. That one will go to shallow left field. Shortstop backing up. Cabrera calls for it, and he's got it. So Karns has retired all 6 Orioles that he has faced so far. We've completed 2 in our spring game. No score. Score here going to the third inning. Brian Mattis working along with Karns on the other side, and both effective and efficient through the first 2 innings of the ball game. For the Rays, couple of hits. They will have Jake Elmore batting in the 9 spot, playing at third base. Then DeJesus and Forsythe will follow against Brian Mattis, who's got 3 strikeouts and no walks. Bobby Dickerson is going to be joining us here for the top of the third inning. Orioles third base coach also directs the infield defensive positioning. Mattis's delivery will be taken for a strike. Bobby, how much of the work can you get done in spring training regarding the kinds of shifts that you're going to use? Can you do that in spring training, get ready for the year?
Yeah, absolutely. We're kind of pushing that to the backside, though, right now. We're just trying to get guys' legs under them and get them in shape for the season. But we'll start adding that a little more as spring progresses.
Hey, Bobby, you talk about the players getting in shape, and I've heard the hitters talk all spring about just getting the timing down. Do you have to go through that as well, being the third base coach?
Absolutely. It's been a while since I've been out there, and, the last time we were there, we were in the playoffs. Stakes were a little high. And, now it's spring training is just catching your breath and getting the timing back.
We see Manny Machado to play on Elmore. Can you talk, Bobby, a bit about Manny? I mean, so far it's been just magnificent.
I think he's feeling better than he has really in his entire minor league and major league career since we've signed him. He's made comments that his legs are really good, and glad hopefully we have that behind us now with his injuries. And you know what, he's pretty much a special player, and hopefully we can keep him healthy and have him all year.
Is his arm okay?
Yeah, I think we have a problem a little bit with some tendonitis building up in that arm, but it's amazing with that thing going across that infield. We can play him in left field and throw people out.
Yeah. He does have the arm. Bobby, you had to be real happy when J.J. Hardy, the announcement was made he was going to be with the Orioles, stay here. I mean, he's such an anchor, is he not, for you?
Absolutely. You look at our defense and the things we're able to do. It stems from the leadership that he provides out there. He's stress-free, and when things go bad, that's one of the things that you look at teams that play bad defense. Everything gets sped up, but J.J. has a knack for calming everyone down, and his presence alone is just keeps Manny and Jonathan or whoever else is at second base comfortable.
And that'll be David DeJesus putting it up in the air. Manny Machado again drifting with the wind blowing it over. Will make the play.
Bobby, every spring there are new players that come into camp, but it seems like you've got a pretty good group of infielders, guys with a lot of experience in the major league. So that must make you feel pretty good about the depth of the infield.
Yeah, you know, we've had times where we've had to scramble to try to fill spots when we've had some unforeseen injuries, but you know what? We have some good depth right now. You know, adding Everth Cabrera and you know, with Navarro out there now, and we have Nix, who was on a playoff roster last year, and you know, these are different guys that we can plug in places, and you know, it just keeps competition strong, and that's a good thing. It's you know, no one can ever sit back and just totally relax on what they've done in the past, especially when there's quality players around like these guys.
Bobby, final question: what's open? What's in question regarding the infield, not just starters but on the bench?
Well, you know, I can't speak for Buck alone. He's going to help. Him and Dan are going to put the players on the field. My job is to try to get them ready and keep our defense strong. And, you know, but if you look at second base, you know, we've added Everth, and that's going to put a little pressure or a little bit of competition on both Jonathan and Flaherty. And, you know, Nix is in the mix, and so is Navarro. Paredes, never forget Paredes also. He's another infielder that's in the mix. So we're going to try to put together the best group of infielders we can and, you know, go forth with that.
Well, Bobby, your infield just got the 3 putouts in that inning. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's pretty nice to watch them.
Yeah, it is.
They were all left-hand knuckleballs when I met them.
Bobby Dickerson, the third base coach at infield, in charge man. Take a look at the outfield situation. Corner-wise, Adam Jones will be in center. Who's going to make it? Who's going to play?
Well, I'll tell you, if you look at the list, obviously Delman Young, most of the experience in the outfield. But David Lowe, Diaza, I mean, those guys kind of proved themselves last year. Chris Davis has spent some time in the outfield. Chris Parmalee coming over from Minnesota, time in the outfield as well, but he has versatility, can play first base. Same with Steve Pearce. He can play left and right field, first base as well. Reimhold's trying to prove himself again. Travis Snyder brought him over from the Pirates, so he'll definitely see some playing time. But there you see the experience Delman Young has in the outfield. 827 games out there. He's just 29 years old. This will be his 9th year in the major league, so his playing time will be increased. A large part in due from what he did last year. I mean, he had a monster offensive year last year, and it looks like there may be some matchups that are going to play a big role this year, and maybe, you know, some potential just switching around. I think Buck Showalter, it's going to be a versatile lineup, and you can use a lot of players in different places.
Young, the designated hitter in this ball game, the spot most likely to see him in coming into the spring, but now some question about maybe even more of those chances in the outfield. Karn's delivery, he was able to get that one, loops it to left field. Line drive stays up. Jaso is there. And there is one away in the eighth. Well, I remind you, the Junior Orioles Dugout Club back this season, a Birdland Best Value and Family Entertainment. The kids 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, an exclusive club hat, the membership card, sports bag, and more. It's only $25. There are giveaways at each game for members and family and friends. You can get tickets starting as low as $6 with a chance to upgrade. The Orioles Dugout Club. Orioles.com/Dugout Club for info. Clevenger getting a chance. Behind the plate, takes the pitch away. Vince Belmoni has come on to play at first base. Forsythe has come out of the ball game. And coming out here in the third inning, you got to believe may have been something a little bit of concern. Or otherwise, Forsythe would have probably stayed in there for a while.
Yeah.
Steve Clevenger. Catching situation, of course, also somewhat of a question. Beginning with Matt Wieters. Will he be ready to catch on opening day? Or will he have to DH? And how long into the season? If he can't catch opening day, will you have to go? And then who do you carry on the roster? Do you carry one catcher? Do you carry two? Besides Matt Wieters. And nobody's going to know that till we get further into this month.
Yeah, exactly. Clevenger, Ryan Lavarnway, J.P. Arancibia, some guys with major league experience. I think Clevenger, the left-handed bat, gives Buck a few more options there, and he's had a pretty good spring swinging it. But once again, we go back to the depth, so there are some options. It may come down to who has the best spring. And, we talked about the outfielders in that long list of outfielders we went over. Well, nobody's really walking away with a job.
No.
Nobody's having a great spring out there. Of course, they're all getting their work in, but offensively, nobody's hitting a lot of home runs or really standing out in that regard.
Broken bat ground ball will go to second base. Beckham's got that one. Takes the play over to Bellevue. And that will bring Navarro up. Talking about positions up for grabs. Bobby Dickerson talking about second base.
Yeah, Everett Cabrera, brought over. He was an all-star shortstop just a couple years ago. 12 games at second base. Flaherty was 123 games at second base. Janish brought over a great defender. And all of these guys on the list, very versatile. Can play all the infield positions. Navarro, Nix, Paredes, and Scope. I think Jonathan Scope, the front runner, but I think it's really important that he continues to see competition out there. Never, ever be satisfied. He didn't hit for the average that he was hoping, but did have 16 home runs and played a great defense, along with Ryan Flaherty.
So, a chance with Ray Navarro at the plate, looking at that second base job. Chance on the bench, maybe. He is a switch hitter. He's having a very good spring. Navarro's 3 for 10, a home run, a couple of RBIs, 1 walk, only 1 strikeout for Navarro so far. 2 down, nobody on. Third inning, no score. Carnes delivers, and it is in there for a strike. And the count will go to 2-1. I was saying to some folks this morning, here's Carnes looking for a job in the starting rotation. There are 2 or 3 other pitchers who also are trying to fill 2 gaps that Tampa Bay now has. You got the outfield positions for the Orioles, left and right. Who's going to start? Are you going to platoon? You got second base with Navarro's situation. And you hear so often people say, hey, it's just spring training. Well, it's not just spring training. There's a lot at stake, and you don't get many chances to prove yourself. And so these at-bats in these games, they matter. They matter to these guys because what they're going to do this year and how their careers play out depends on it.
Oh, it sure does. A lot of guys come into camp and want to prove something. There are managers like Buck Showalter that like to look at an overall track record of a player, especially a guy with experience in the major leagues, and he does have that this spring. There are a lot of guys in camp that have been in the major leagues before and had success there, so there is a little bit of a track record to go off of. But when it comes down to competition and positions, if you prove that you came into camp ready to go and you put some numbers up, you could have a spot on the team.
Well, Carnes is bidding for 1 with Tampa Bay. He's retired the first 9 going through the order along with a strikeout, and it remains 0-0. a good start.
Boy, he sure did. He really mixed up his pitch as well. You saw all the offerings there. A nasty slider down and away. Get Jason. Look at this one, buried down and into the righties. Had some problems with righties, but he came up with some big pitches today. Good hard slider on the inside corner. So a lot of success there, mixing up his pitches.
And Brian joins us right now as he heads out of the ball game. Tim Berry's going to be coming on to do the pitching. Brian, nice outing. Feel as good as you looked out there?
Oh, thanks, Gary. Felt pretty good. Felt like as the game went on, did a better job at kind of settling in and throwing strikes. So, yeah, felt good.
Little cutter. Mike was talking about it.
Yeah, it tended to be a slider. I guess in college I call it a cutter. Now more of a slider, but just a pitch to use for depth down and in on righties and down and away on the lefties.
Well, you had it today. I mean, great depth on that pitch, and it looked like you were really mixing up your pitch as well. Is that something consciously you were trying to do today, mix up the pitches?
Absolutely. That's the key, especially starting the game. To go out there and mix all four pitches, keep hitters off balance, and get ground balls.
Yet another fine play by Manny Machado as Cabrera's retired. Jaso coming up. In your heart of hearts, you want to be a starter?
I mean, I don't think that's any secret, Gary.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever role it is, the goal is to just come out and help this team win. And then that's all really that matters.
Well, you certainly had great success against lefties the last few seasons. Just trying to get that confidence back about righties. I know you've grown. You're 28 years old. You've had a lot of experience in the game, and you're surrounded by some good coaches and players. Coming into camp this year, did you have something in your head that you wanted to try to do differently to attack righties?
You know what, Bordy? It's just a matter of getting better. Recently, the last couple of years, I've had struggles against righties, but I think the key is to use that changeup on righties, and as well as the curveball, and just keep them off balance. When in past recent years, when I've had success, it was a matter of working the ball in and out and changing speeds, and for me, that's really the key.
Brian, we really appreciate it. Congratulations. Real fine outing for you.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it, Mike.
You got it. Brian Mattis, Orioles starter, 3 innings, couple of hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Good outing. Tim Berry on here, another left-hander. This is the 24-year-old. John Jaso picked up the base hit on him. He's on at first base. Here is Rivera, strikeout victim his first time up. Starting catcher, drills that one left field. A lot of wind going deep, way back near the wall, and goodbye home run. Rene Rivera delivers the long ball off Tim Berry. Ahead of him comes Jaso in a 2-0 Rays lead.
Well, the Rays hoping Rivera can do that quite a few times throughout the course of the season. He got an elevated fastball from Berry, and I think right out of Berry's hand, he knew that it was in the wrong spot, and his head dropped. There's Rivera, beautiful swing here. Eyes light up. Got to that baseball well. Get it up in the wind. 2-run shot.
Rivera picking up his first spring training home run. Now has a couple of hits in 12 at-bats. And the Rays are on the board with their 4th hit of the ball game. So bases cleared, 1 down. And here is Franklin. Nick Franklin, who had a double and a stolen base, stranded at third his first time up. The Orioles' strength so far this spring, as their record at 3-9 has been the pitching. Played at second by Navarro, and there are 2 away. Single game tickets for the upcoming season on sale. Lock in your tickets now to the best games for the coming year. Great promotional dates announced. And get to look maybe about Showalter Garden Gnomes Day, or the Orioles Hawaiian Shirt Day, the J.J. Hardy Replica Jersey Day coming up. Go to Orioles.com/tickets for details on tickets and some great giveaways. Tell you about the Orioles. The problem's been hitting. The Orioles don't have a hit here today so far. They're hitting only .222 as a team. They have been outscored this spring substantially in most of the ball games. Their pitchers are the ones who have held them in. They've been outscored now 58-35 on the year. But the team ERA for the Orioles at 4.72 has been too high for the Orioles to win games. Now you got a lot of mix and match going on there, pitching and players, but they really would like to start seeing some of the offense come around here as we get to the middle of March. Pitch taken outside. Kiermaier up, flied out, first time up.
Well, will certainly come. It's not from lack of effort. Every day these guys are out there working. They're working hard with new hitting coach Scott Coolball. That batting cage opens up at 7:30 in the morning, and typically it is just pumping out hitters. They're always in there kind of refine their skills a little bit, but some guys in spring training working on some things. Chris Davis, of course, like to find his stroke and get back to that magical 50 home run number. Matt Wieters coming off the surgery, hasn't picked up his hits yet, but I think now that he's going to start catching will help his confidence and make him feel more a part of the game, and you'll see him finding some grass in the outfield as well. You know, spring training, obviously you would love to get that good feel early on, but you try different things. Maybe you started spring training with what you had at the end of last season. Well, at the end of last season you might have 500, 600 at-bats under your belt, and you're just trying to get those feels again and try different things. Trust me, there are a lot of veteran hitters out here on this Orioles team, and they will lock in. But it's just a matter of figuring out, getting that timing down. The routines aren't as consistent as they're going to be here coming up in the next 2 weeks, and I think that's when you're going to find this offense clicking on all cylinders.
Kiermaier on at first base, and here's Beckham. Beckham, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Tim Berry, 24 years old, out of California. He was selected 50th round of the 09 draft. He went 6-7 last year. Double-A Bowie at 23 starts, 3.51 ERA, 8th in the Eastern League in earned run average, and he had the third best earned run average among Oriole minor league pitchers. Clevenger going out is after that home run. The walk surrendered to Kiermaier after he got Franklin on a ground ball, and now he can't find the strike zone there, and he goes 3-0. So Steve Clevenger out just trying to settle him down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to overthrow. A lot of times in these situations, younger pitchers tend to do a little bit too much. He has a great arm. That's why he's kind of shot up through the prospect ranks. Fastball, we've seen it in the mid-90s. Got a pretty good breaking ball as well.
Runner goes. Pitch. Clevenger's throw off the mark and a stolen base. So Kiermaier, a pretty good jump right there off Berry. He'll get to second with 2 down.
Well, 3-0 count. Clevenger goes out to talk to Berry and tells him just to settle down, concentrate on the mitt. Kiermaier says, well, he's going to take a little bit more time to throw a strike, and he gets a really good jump. Pretty good pitch to handle as well, but I think the jump wins there.
Yep. So a runner in scoring position, 2 runs in on the homer by Rivera in the inning. And Beckham try and bring in another. Outfield playing fairly shallow, especially Adam Jones, who's tended to do that this spring. Adam's been in a little bit in center field with that wind blowing over to left, trying to cut balls off in front of him. 3-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to catch the inside corner. And Berry gets the count full with 2 away at 3-2.
Good job getting himself back in the count. He'll come up with that payoff pitch right here.
Big lead at second. The Orioles sending Navarro, second baseman, back to his normal position. Runner goes. Ball will be fouled away. Good read by Kiermaier. I mean, clearly the Orioles did not want to give that right side to Beckham to hit through, so Navarro backed off covering second base, and he had a good jump.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you don't see it that often, but we've seen it twice today. 2 outs, runner at second base, and they try to steal third. You make that third out at third base, of course the guy in the batter's box is going to be a little bit upset, and a lot of times they don't like to see that extra movement out there in the middle of the field.
3-2 count. Runner goes again, and a ground ball off the glove. That's going to be a base hit. Runner will stop at third. So I don't think that ball would have made it into the outfield in any event. Knocked down by Berry, and even though Kiermaier was running, he had to stop at third base. So it'll be an infield hit for Beckham.
A lot of times pretty tough for pitchers just to control themselves. A little chopper, and he just reacts to it. Forgets that 3-time Gold Glove winner J.J. Hardy's right behind him. Or they would have had that one pretty easily.
So now runners at first and third with 2 away. And we'll see if the Blues brother, Jake Elmore here, can pick up an RBI, or whether Berry can get him out of there. 27-year-old, signed as a free agent in February of this year. Played a little bit with the Reds last year, throw over. Just 5 games with Cincinnati last season. He's played in only 87 Major League games over the last 7 years. out of Arizona State University. Jake Elmore, he's a non-roster invitee, getting a start at third base, where Evan Longoria will be opening day. 2 down. Pitch will be taken away for a ball. There are your base runners. Kiermaier over at third, and Beckham at first.
Depending on how this count goes, this is a type of situation where managers might try to steal a run. Good speed at first, good speed at third base. And these first and third situations are what a lot of teams are drilled on. How are they going to handle it? Are they going to throw through? Are they going to cut the ball off and try to get the out at home? And this would be a good opportunity for the Rays to create a little separation here, get another run on the board possibly, and a lot of it might depend on how this count goes to Elmore.
Throw over again. Base coaches talking between every throw here with Rocco Baldelli, the first base coach this season, and Charlie Montoyo's the third base coach, making sure the runners are heads up here on what might be going on. The Orioles infield deep in the middle. Hardy and Navarro are back. Beckham, pretty good lead, not going, and now Barry needs to concentrate on getting some strikes here as the count goes to 2-0. Elmore at the plate with the leadoff batter de Jesus waiting on deck.
And a little too quick right there. Maybe concerned about possible stolen base attempt. Getting that foot down, but the arm's not catching up.
Runner not going. 2-0 delivery, and that'll be there on the outside corner. And the count will go to 2-1. Beckham, who is over there at first base, has some pretty good speed. Been hindered probably a bit in that regard by the problem he had with that anterior cruciate ligament that kept him out most of last year. 2-1 pitch, and that's up high, so Barry digs the hole a little deeper here now with a 3-1 count and 2 down. Elmore grounded out his first time up. See what Barry throws here. The outfield backing up a couple of steps. Beckham extends the lead a half a step, not going. And the ball shot the other way, foul off the fist by Elmore. So Beckham will be going now with a count at 3-2 and 2 down. Davis looking into the dugout, the Oriole first baseman, shaking his head, acknowledging that they want him to stay there. They do not want Beckham to get that big jump if Davis moved behind the runner. So he'll stay there and hold on a 3-2. And Barry's delivery, and that'll be chopped foul.
Yeah, absolutely want to do that in that situation. Give Beckham an extra step. He could potentially beat a ball out in the middle of the infield and get the force there on a tough play. So keep him close, keep him tight, keep this game in check.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Beckham will be off again at first. Kiermaier off third. That ball in the air to right field. It'll be hit pretty well. Pierce is right there to put it away. Elmore retired. Couple of runs. Rivera's home run. 2-0 Rays. recognize all the youngsters here in Sarasota who participated in the 5th annual reading program. It's the part of the community effort. It's the Big League Reader. Checking out books at the library. The kids read at least 3 in the month of February and get tickets to a game if they do so. 70 plus on hand today, and representing them, Max Harmon. The young man I talked with told me what books he read.
One was a Minecraft construction handbook. Another one was a book called Alvin Ho, and the last one was a book called Kingdom Keepers.
Max Harmon, one of the youngsters here in Sarasota, and as a result, there's the whole family on hand watching the ball game today. Mom, Dad, sister, and Max. And Max got to go out and throw the first pitch to Hunter Harvey at the beginning of the ball game. He was some excited, and a great kid, and a wonderful family, and a great program urging youngsters to read, and the Orioles giving them the tickets to the game today. And it wasn't just for Max and his family. It was for all the youngsters, 70-plus kids. Anyone who read the 3 books registering at the library to do it got tickets to come to the game.
What a great opportunity. Obviously, for the kids that get them interested in reading if they're not already interested, and reward them with an Orioles game and some experiences for him on the field to be able to throw out that first pitch. So that might keep him locked into reading and pass it on to his friends.
Talking to him, it sounded like he was pretty locked in to reading. I mean, I don't remember at his age being in the 4th grade reading a construction handbook. he was into it. Alejandro Diaz, and he will take the pitch down low for a ball. Diaz, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Diaz gets the third baseman in a bit, and the pitch will be taken away. He struck out his first time up. Defensive changes. Honors come on to play at third base. So Elmore's out of there. Beckham has gone over to short for Cabrera. And Elmore has gone to second base from third. That ball will go towards second. Knocked down. Elmore, welcome to second base. Well, we told you the fight's on.
Yeah.
For the battle, who's going to play second, who's going to play short, and who's going to be the bench backup.
Well, showing some pretty good range here. Take a look at the angle he creates. I mean, that is a deep angle. Makes the play out in shallow right field. A strong snap throw from the grass. Quick first step. He knew where that ball was going to be. That's all about the pursuit angle, and he got it right.
Real good play. So the Orioles still looking for their first hit in the ball game. They trail 2-0. Tampa Bay's out hit them 5-0. J.J. Hardy flied out to center field. His first time up. Everybody pretty much straight away. Outfield deep against the Orioles shortstop. Hardy is 4 for 16 so far this spring. He's picked up 1 RBI. Orioles have had 7 home runs, giving up 12 on the season. 0-2 count. Showalter's ball club coming in with that 3-9 record for the Orioles. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and a check swing and a pitch up high. Right over the top of the Orioles dugout.
JJ would certainly love to see his spring training batting average numbers be more indicative of his swings, because it seems like every game he hits a couple balls hard. He had a great first at bat, drove the ball out to the right center alley.
And a swing and a miss. There's that big curveball. Play will be made down at first by Rivera. We told you that Carnes' curveball is rated number 1 in the Tampa Bay system, and we've seen a couple of great benders.
He has buried a couple real good ones. He throws it hard, good velocity on this, and it's 12-6. So that is a true curveball, but it is a hard biter. Looks like a fastball and then just disappears. Just bounces on the plate.
Well, performance so far today for Carnes has moved him a little closer to that fifth spot in the rotation. Now, I don't think that the Rays organization, including Kevin Cash, their manager, minds that at all. He is the first name mentioned to go into that 5 spot if Smiley and Colomb are both out the first time through. Chris Davis, 1-0 delivery, 2 down, nobody on. Off-speed breaking ball that time as he let up a little bit. That was all the way down to 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, kind of get me over, show it for a strike, and then bury the hard one for the strikeout pitch. Seems the way he's going, and we talked about him being able to repeat his delivery. Well, looks pretty smooth right now. Command of all of his pitches. He's also thrown some pretty good changeups in this ball game, but no walks, and hasn't really made many mistakes.
Mr. Hickey, the pitching coach, is going to like that. Breaking ball that came in on him right into the shift again. Elmore makes the play, and the Orioles have been retired in all at bats so far in this ball game. The Rays lead at 2-0. The Orioles spring training home in Sarasota. Great effort by Brian Mattis, the Orioles starter. He got 3 strikeouts. Orioles left-hander looked really good in that start. Orioles still looking for their first hit of the ball game as Carnes has pitched his 4 innings in the game. And 2-5-0 for the Rays. 0s for the Orioles. 2-run homer hit by Tampa Bay catcher Rene Rivera, accounting for the runs. A day at the yard. Spring training so big here in Florida and in Arizona. The crowds this season have been just outstanding in both. I was listening to a game, the Dodger game late last night. They had 13,000 plus at Dodgers Padres game. Orioles have been filling the house here with close to 8,000, which is the capacity here at Ed Smith Stadium. Pitch will be taken up for a ball. Top of the lineup, David DeJesus. He has popped up to third base twice. DeJesus' position on this team somewhat tenuous. Veteran who really doesn't have a position right now and has been talked about as somebody the team might want to trade if there was a deal they could swing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he does have some versatility to him as well, and I know he's hurt the Orioles in the past, but yeah, he might see some time in the DH spot, certainly in the outfield as well. I don't know that the Rays want to get rid of too many guys because it seems like they let a lot go in the offseason. Of course, they worked some trades and got some prospects in return, but
2-1 delivery on the way. DeJesus got jammed, still drove the ball out to right field. Called in by Pierce for the out, and 1 down here in the 5th inning. Get your copy of the Orioles' all-new official legacy book. It's the Baltimore Orioles 60 Years of Orioles Magic. Features behind-the-scenes stories, photos of the team's first 6 decades. Special forward by our own Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. And all Orioles full or partial season plan members get a 20% discount on purchasing the book. To reserve your copy, go to Orioles.com/book today. Great history of the Orioles. Pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Here's Logan Forsythe. Forsythe, a couple of ground balls to short, has been replaced, and Belnomi is up. Forsythe went out of the ball game after starting at first base. And Belnomi will take the pitch, and that is in there for a strike. And Barry working his second inning of relief and trying to have the 1-2-3.
Well, getting a good look at his fastball, 93 to 95 miles an hour. Just breaking ball right there. And I think the Orioles are really excited about some of the young arms that they have and that they've seen in camp. We heard Dom Chidi talking about them, and Barry certainly one that has put himself on the map.
Good pitch. It was down and away, left field. Diaz is there, and he's got it. A couple of outs for Barry in the air. 2 down, nobody on. As Dribble Cabrera had been in this spot, he had a single, and he grounded out. A couple of at-bats for Cabrera, who started the game at shortstop. Taylor Motter, M-O-T-T-E-R, will be coming to the plate. His first at-bat in Cabrera's spot, playing at third base, and will foul it away. What Kevin Cash has gone through this year, trying to come to know the players and also to figure out what he's going to do with so many to replace, who his bench is going to be. He'll have platoon situations. He's used a lot of players in every game. And he was saying this morning, I really want to calm things down. He's the manager who likes to get things set, know who's going to be out there, tell his guys in advance. And at this point, that's been kind of a tough job for him.
Well, it has, but it also gives him the opportunity to see some of the players. They're going to be in the minor leagues, so he'll know what he has if there are injuries throughout the season. Some guys he'll be able to trust, that can count on.
You know you're going to need him. 1-2 delivery on the way. Motter takes it on the inside corner. Barry has a good inning. He gets his first strikeout. Retires the side in order. We go to the bottom of the 5th here in Sarasota. As the Twins will be in town to face the O's. Our coverage on Masson will begin at 1. Matt Wieters probably going to be in the lineup in that ball game and plate. Be sure to log on to MassonSports.com all spring long for daily news and notes from Orioles spring training. 2-0 lead here. And this will be 24-year-old Jose Dominguez coming on to do the pitching.
And Dominguez having a good spring. Couple games, 1-0 record. Nothing for an earned run average. Couple innings of work. 3 punch-outs. The 3 punch-outs because he's got a power arm. He's got a really good fastball, mid to high 90s with that pitch. A hard breaking ball as well. So here's a guy that'll probably be fighting for a spot potentially in the bullpen. He's a young arm. But somebody that Kevin Cash wants to take a look at. The Orioles might be seeing this kid soon.
And we will get a new right fielder. Butley coming on to play in right field as DeJesus comes out of the ballgame. So a number of changes already for the Rays. Dominguez will face Jones. Pierce and Machado due up for the Orioles. Dominguez has been officially clocked at 100.6 miles an hour. His minor league teammates say they have seen him throw as hard as 103 miles an hour. He was with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Came along with Greg Harris in exchange for Joel Peralta and a left-hander in a deal with the Dodgers. That'll be on the inside corner for a strike. And that's an 84-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yeah, so he throws 100 miles an hour and drops two sliders on him, 84, 83 miles an hour.
And an 0-2 count. Then came back with a heater at 95. Jones retired. He's 0 for 2.
There you go. A little bit backwards to Adam Jones. Gets ahead with two off-speed pitches, and here comes the noise. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Here it is. Hit it if you can. Jones can't quite get there.
Dominguez starts it out with a K. Great job by Carnes, the starter. 4 innings, zeros with 2 strikeouts. Steve Pierce grounded out, only at bat he has had in the ballgame. The effectiveness of Carnes means these Orioles starters may stay in the ballgame a little longer than they might otherwise have done, because they're only getting the second at bat of the game here in the 5th inning. 1-0 pitch, that'll be fouled back. Tried to line one up, down, and away.
Now Steve Pierce getting the shift put on him. 3 infielders pulled over on the left side there. Steve does have that great ability to go the other way. I don't know in spring training right now if he wants to work on trying to shoot that ball to right until he gets 2 strikes, because he wants to find that power stroke as well.
That one was jammed in on him a little bit. It'll go to center field. And Kimmerer put it away. And there are 2 down. 2 away here in the 5th inning. The Orioles have not had a base runner. 2 away here in the 5th. That'll bring up Manny Machado. Machado popped out his first time up. Orioles getting set. 3 games against Tampa Bay, the opener of the season for them on the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And the Orioles will return home. And Toronto will be in town for the game on the 10th of April. 3 o'clock game to open it up on a Friday. And then 7:05 on a Saturday and 1:35 on Sunday, the 10th, 11th, and 12th. As the season is opening up a week later than it did last year, and thus will not be done until October 4 this year, which leads the World Series potentially to be in November if it goes 6 or 7.
Right? I mean, potential snowy World Series.
Yes. Would not be the first time. No. 0-2 count, 2 down. Dominguez working out of the set. That was one of the, see, it was Cleveland and Miami in the World Series.
Yeah.
Was the most differentiated I've ever seen. I did the World Series. They were playing Christmas carols in the snow during batting practice in Cleveland. And we were eating fish tacos outdoors under the tent in Miami. It couldn't have been more diverse weather. And a check swing will end up back in the seats, and the count will stay at 0-2 on Manny Machado. Commissioner Bud Selig would not put on an overcoat in Cleveland. He sat down in the first row, just in his suit. Not going to give in to the weather. While the refrains of Gene Autry.
That's because he was planning on coming to Baltimore for the World Series.
Exactly.
And ended up getting beat by the Indians.
0-2 pitch on the way, and a breaking ball he held up on. 1-2. Shirt sleeve crowd here on this mid-80-degree day. And seeing a good ball game again. The pitchers in charge of this one. Just that big blast by Rene Rivera, the Tampa Bay catcher, the 2-run homer, runs in the ballgame. And that's taken. Manny was headed to the dugout. He thought that was a strike. He was leaning over the plate, and he's not going to turn around and look at home plate umpire John Hirschbeck.
Yeah, looks like a pretty good fastball. Maybe a little bit low. I think that's where Hirschbeck saw it.
So a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Set up outside low again, and that one will miss there. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count of Machado. Delman Young, the on-deck batter for the Orioles.
And we talk about versatility in this lineup. Manny's led off some games here in spring training, and Diaza, it's been kind of, I think Buck's trying to get a feel for who's going to be at the top of this lineup.
Third base. Error will be charged. Motter down at third. Looks like a pretty easy play. He just didn't come up with it.
A lot of times spring training fields, when the sun beats down on them, they get a little hard. That last top kicks up there, catches him in the wrist. Nice job staying with the ball, but almost fires that one up into the stands.
So the error charged on Motter at third base will give Delman Young the opportunity. Delman DHing today, lined out to the left fielder, his first time up. Dominguez with a look over, almost outside. Rivera's throw not in time. So we get a bit of an idea of what Rivera may be doing behind the plate here as their regular starting catcher.
Yeah, nice snap throw there. And Manny Machado, pretty close play. Manny going in feet first, almost got hit there on the ankle.
Rivera having that play in front of him. Pitch will be taken down low. A little bit ironic. Rene Rivera, the catcher, is out of Bayamon, Puerto Rico. It is the same hometown of the Rays catcher for the last 3 years, Jose Molina, who's now gone. So they both come from the same city. This is the veteran Rivera behind the plate. He's 31 years old. Hasn't played a lot of major league games, about 224, and almost 900 minor league games. 2-0 count, delivery on the way, and that will be down low. This is on the backfield where the Orioles have that exhibition game against the Puerto Rican development team. Tillman was the starter there, and Matt Wieters was doing the catching for the first time this spring. Walk surrender to Young. 2 on, 2 down. The Orioles get their first 2 base runners here in the 5th inning.
This is what the Orioles want to try to do. Get on base any way you can. There's an error made. Manny Machado gets on first, and next thing you know, get a walk, and Steve Clevenger could pop one out of the park. So you want to try to get guys on. You want to continue to work at bats, hustle down the line, give yourself opportunities, and here, 1 pitch away from taking a lead.
Steve Clevenger with a 2 on and 2 away. Deep in both the infield and outfield. He grounded out his first time up to second base and will foul that one off as Dominguez gets one in at 91 miles an hour. That'll send Rivera out to the mound here. Talk about it and what they want to do here, and maybe where that first one wasn't supposed to be.
All right. Yeah, a lot of times hard throwers, the command really isn't there. They might be setting up for a fastball away, and they're just trying to rear back and throw it as hard as they can. And the ball has a tendency to stay over the middle of the plate. So.
Oof. And then comes in with the off-speed breaking ball at about 85 miles an hour. 0-2.
Yeah, pretty good little slider right there. Throwing off that fastball. So most hitters have to gear up to get to 95. Put a little bend in the ball. Pretty easy strike to get ahead.
And that one will be fouled off. Good location on the last 2 as he's kept them down low. And the count will stay at 2 strikes. Dominguez last year pitched mostly at AAA with Albuquerque. He was in 31 games, all as a reliever. He pitched only 33 innings at AAA. And got him on the outside corner. Pitch Clevenger thought might have been away. So no runs, no hits, an error, a walk, couple left on. 2-0 Rays. Way when you pick up the Oriole Park 5-bagger suite program. It's one low price, all-inclusive, fully catered suite, 5 games, including games against the Yankees or Red Sox, plus parking, VIP treatment, and more. There's no better way to entertain clients or colleagues and make a statement. For details, call 410-547-6173 or go to Orioles.com/suites. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick here in Sarasota this beautiful afternoon. Rays lead it by a score 2-0, and the Orioles will bring on Chaz Rowe.
Chaz Rowe been in a couple games this spring, trying to bring that earned run average down. 4 innings of work, 3 punch-outs, couple walks on spring training for Chaz. Sinker slider type pitcher came over from Colorado. Does have a little service time, a little less than a year in the big leagues. So trying to earn a spot here, at least show that he belongs. So he might be one of those players that can help this team in the summer.
Down to first. It'll be a fair ball, and it'll be a base hit. Chris Davis going over, trying to get that off John Jaso's bat. Couldn't do it. Jaso's got a couple of hits now. This one, a leadoff single in the 6th inning.
Yeah, hit pretty sharply down on the corner. Davis been working so hard, reaching out there just off the thumb of the glove. I'm sure he's upset not to be able to come down with that play. Certainly saved it from being a double down the line, but for as hard as Chris has been working this spring, definitely frustrated didn't flag it down for Rowe.
Hit number 6 on the board for the Rays. First leadoff man to be on today. And an outside corner fastball. Here's Rivera, who's delivered the big blow in the game. Rene Rivera, the 2-run homer, came in the 4th inning, his first home run of the spring. He has also struck out. Davis will hold the bag at first. Towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Seeing eye single. So the first 2 are on. Jaso and now Rivera. Setting the stage with nobody out.
A little slider here that he stays on. Not a terrible pitch down in the zone. Maybe too much of the plate, but you got to do an awful lot to get it through the left side of that infield. And it did indeed have eyes as it split Hardy and Machado perfectly.
So 2 on, nobody out. Infield will play a double play depth here against Nick Franklin. Franklin has had a double. He has grounded out. Franklin, the designated hitter for the Rays. And he goes after that first pitch to left field. De Aza will back up and over. Runners halfway go back. Franklin is the first out of the inning. I don't know, maybe it's just spring training or maybe it's just me, but it does seem like the games are moving along a little faster.
No, it helps when the Orioles don't have any hits on the board.
Yeah, no question. But guys are staying in the box.
Yeah.
It seems to me
right.
the guys are they're not coming out. You don't see many even thinking about it. They get in there, they stay. Kind of a frame of mind thing, and it looks like most of the offensive players just kind of adopted that. Will they carry over to the regular season? We'll see.
You know, there are going to be times, and they certainly want to speed up the game. They've been talking about it for years, and now they're going to implement some rules and have a clock out there. But I think just the fact that the players are more aware now, and really pitchers set the tempo of the game. A lot of times it's just up to them. Are they going to take a lot of time walking around the mound? I think a hitter's ready to go.
There's not going to get it. It'll take a hop up and over. It's a double. Double going over the wall will save a run. Jaso will score. Rivera has to stop at third. Kevin Kiermaier delivers the 2-bagger and an RBI. And it is a 3-0 lead for the Rays.
Well, they're hoping Kiermaier can do a lot of this. He gets a fastball out on the outside corner, and he reaches out and touches it, gets it up in the jet stream a little bit, bounces up and over. De Aza gets himself a double.
So 2 in scoring position. The infield will move at least halfway. Tim Beckham is up. He has single, been called out on strikes. Orioles will try and hold that runner at third on a ground ball. And that one will turn him a little bit. Chaz Rowe unable to get that second big out here. Tim Berry worked 2 innings. He gave up 2 runs, 3 hits with a walk and a strikeout. Orioles starter Brian Mattis, no runs, 2 hits, 3 innings, 3 strikeouts. Real good opener. 1-0 count with one down. And a swing and a miss and a good pitch tailing away.
Yeah, nice slider. He's kept the slider down very well. Leaving that fastball up. If he can get it down just a little bit, that movement that he has, induce a ground ball. Orioles kind of backing up a little bit on the infield, giving themselves some room, yet still the ability to potentially cut a run down at the plate.
Beckham will foul that off. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Beckham had 1 hit coming into this ball game. He's added to it. He's now 2 for 15 on the spring with an RBI. And Beckham looking to find a place on this ball club. Big at bat here. Base hit could bring in 2. 1-2 delivery to him. He wanted to go, couldn't, and is called out. Good pitch.
Beckham couldn't pull the trigger on the nice slider there from Chaz Rowe. Locks him up. Real good pitch. Clevenger wanting that one more on the outside corner, but it hovers on that inner third just enough to freeze that hip.
So now 2 down. Here is Jake Elmore. Elmore's flied out, grounded out. Bunting for a base hit here, obviously, and obviously not a suicide because the runner did not go. Rene Rivera at third base. One-0 count, 2 down. Infield, of course, is backed up here, 2 away. Breaking ball the inside corner. That's a good one. Had Elmore turned away from the pitch that time, and it came back in over the plate. 1-1.
He has thrown some nice sliders, and you see a little buckle there. He's got such a loose arm. Now, if he can get command of that fastball, he can really tear up some righties inside.
That one will go to right field. Pierce will get under it and put it away. Good recovery by Chaz Rowe. Run in on 3 hits. There are 2 left on base, and it's a 3-0 Rays lead. Nothing as the Orioles still looking to pick up that first bingo here in the ball game, and they will do it against Steve Geltz.
Yeah, Steve Geltz, another one of the strong arms that the Rays have acquired. 3 games this spring, 2.70 earned run average, 3 punch outs, no walks, and he's got another power fastball, 93 to 95. Pretty good slider as well. So they just keep coming for the Rays. I mean, it seems like every year they build their team on pitching and defense, and not a lot has changed. And as you look at the way this season potentially could go, they're going to get Matt Moore back, you know, in the beginning of the summer. So there are some arms, and they've always been able to catch the ball. So that's why you can't count them out, even though there have been a lot of changes.
Pitching, if you've got that to start, you've got to start. So Velez has come on to play in left field. Lots of changes here. Matuk will play in center field. Orioles will get Ray Navarro to the plate. Navarro won at bat, only grounded out first time up. There's the off-speed delivery by Giltz. Ha-Ju Lee has come on to play at short. Ryan Brett will play at second base.
Good beard.
A lot of changes. Ray Navarro, the 0-1 delivery to him, fastball. That will be taken up high. Also got a new catcher in the ball game. Luke Mailey has come on to do the catching, so a new battery. Dominguez worked an inning. He had a walk and a strikeout in relief of Carnes, the starter for Tampa Bay. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Ray Navarro. And they're going to get the signs down. Tampa Bay team, of course, historically has lived off pitching. They last year they had the 5th best ERA, 3rd lowest batting average against in the American League. Their starters had the 2nd best ERA, second only to Oakland in the American League. So that's where they have gone to win. Jim Hickey, you saw there, their pitching coach, has been around with this ball club for years in that position. 1-1 delivery, foul back. Kevin Cash, their new manager, saying this morning, it's just a great help for me that I've got Hickey here and his staff. They know these pitchers. I can learn from them who they are, what they do, but I can turn the job over to Hickey and let him run the pitching group.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a big thing. Now, Kevin Cash.
Up the middle. Cut off, not quite. Lee couldn't get it. That may be the first hit. Navarro with a single.
There you go. Chopper up the middle. Might get this Orioles offense going. Not a bad pitch down in the zone. He gets on top of it. Hard dirt bouncing up over the head. He could try to flag that down, but I think that shortstop just left it a little too soon. Tried to be too quick to get Navarro.
Now the infield positioning with third baseman playing in for a potential bunt. Infield at double play depth the rest of the way. Leadoff batter De Aza has struck out and grounded out. Orioles do get their first hit. Puts that one up in the air to right field. Butler there. He's got it. Runner tags, not going. Ooh, big arm. Wow, was that an easy throw in to second base?
Yeah, that'll get everybody's attention. You can guarantee that Bobby Dickerson and Wayne Kirby taking note of that, because if you see him called up, say plus arm right fielder.
He hardly threw that. He just kind of let it go. It was a shot right into second base. Joey Butler played with the Cardinals some last year, mostly at AAA out there in right field. 1 down. Here's J.J. Hardy, who has struck out and flied out. Hardy will take the breaking ball that comes off the plate. 1-0. Tampa Bay needs that good pitching, because even with the versatility they had last year with their ball club, they scored the fewest runs in the American League, and they had the 3rd fewest home runs. So it's all about pitching. Team takes on a character, the chemistry, and I asked Cash about that this morning. I said, this team, you got a sense of who they are, what they're going to look like, what their makeup's going to be, and he said nothing's going to change in that department. Ball hit hard. That's to left field. Good line drive shot that's going to take a hop off the wall. Phillies will play it back in. Bobby Dickerson waving the runner home. Relay throw from Lee to the plate is there, and drop. Run is in for the Orioles. They might have had it out had he been able to hang on to it, but a good slide, and out came the baseball. Navarro scores, and it's 3-1.
A lot of good things happening on that play. J.J. Hardy, great swing. Good contact. His first at bat, he drove the ball here. He beats the left fielder. This ball is smoked. One hopper off the wall. And Navarro's on his horse. Bobby Dickerson, this is how you get a read on players. Are they going hard? And he felt Navarro was. Good slide into home, kicking that ball loose. Come in safely. Double an RBI for J.J. Hardy.
Well, the Orioles' first 2 hits. Hardy coming out. Jason Nix coming on to run at second base for Hardy. And with 1 down, here's Chris Davis. Shift put on against him. Chris has struck out and flied out. And will take the pitch down low for a ball. So the Orioles getting the RBI from their starting shortstop. Now Davis with a chance to drive in another out there at second base. Chris has had a couple of hits, 16 at bats, a home run, 5 RBIs this spring. 1-0 pitch. Foul back.
I like that swing right there from Chris Davis. That's a 78-mile-an-hour pitch, and he backed it up. He's got a lot of room on that left side. Now, we've seen Chris Davis hit into the shift a number of times, but there are opportunities over there, and he let that ball travel and put a real good swing on it. Be nice to see him here in spring start using left field just a little bit more, airing out that swing and have total plate coverage and get back to being one of the most dangerous hitters in the game.
Ground ball into the shift. Shortstop there to play it. Runner goes to third. Davis is retired as Lee makes the play on it. So Davis 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2 down. And Adam Jones, who has flied out and struck out, will try and get that run in from third base as Nick's pinch runner is there. Adam looking for his first spring training home run. 3 hits, 19 at bats. Ground ball the other way, right where they had played. Ryan Brett almost fires it away. El Nomi able to handle it. Orioles get a run on a couple of hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Now a 3-1 Rays lead. Authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Back here at Sarasota with the big crowd on hand. Sellout 8,219. The 6th sellout of the spring here at Ed Smith Stadium for the Orioles. And we'll see a new pitcher, one trying to make this ball club, Logan Barrett.
Yeah, Logan Barrett, Rule 5 from the New York Mets. And he's had himself a pretty good spring. 3 games, 3.60 earned run average. 5 innings of work. Got 6 punch-outs, just 1 walk. And all he's done throughout his career, minor league career, is win. He knows how to do it. He's very pitchable, has command of all of his pitches, and he's opened up some eyes here in camp. And another, it's going to be a tough decision. Logan Barrett, Garcia, Rule 5 players that are really going to kind of force the issue, try to make this club.
A lot of changes for the Orioles. Pierce is now playing left field. David Lowe is in center. And Urrutia has come on to play in right field. The Buck Showalter, after his starters, gets some 3 at-bats here. Gets him out of the lineup. Here's Joey Butler, who made that nice throw in right field. His first at-bat. Nix has stayed in the ball game at shortstop for Hardy. Parmalee's come on for Davis at first. And Arencibia, J.P. Arencibia, now doing the catching. And the pitch is taken outside for a ball. Chaz Roll worked an inning, a run on 3 hits. Tim Berry, 2 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits. Brian Mattis, 3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Orioles finally getting their first hit in the 6th, ended up with 2 of them and a run scored. Tampa Bay had a big home run. Rene Rivera, their catcher, in the 4th, added an RBI double by Kiermaier in the 6th inning. Butler with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Logan Verrett getting a long look. This is the 4th game he's pitched in. He pitched against the Tigers. Couple of innings, no runs, 3 hits. Toronto, couple of innings, 1 run, 3 hits. And against the Yankees, an inning, 1 run, 1 hit. He's had 1 walk in the 3 outings and 6 strikeouts for Verrett this spring.
Yeah, he's looked really good. He's very polished for a young guy.
Ground ball. I don't think he touched it. Played at second base.
Nice play right there from Navarro. Back in 2011, voted best defender in the Reds organization. So he can pick it. Play some short, second base as well.
Navarro has gone the distance at second. Machado, Nix, Navarro, and Parmalee now in the infield. The outfield, Pierce, Lowe, Rudia, and Aaron Sebia behind the plate. Vince Belnomi. And Belnomi will take the pitch for a ball. He's had 1 at bat, flied out to left field in the 7th inning for the Orioles. 1-0 delivery, and the pitch will be there for a strike. One delivery. That'll be on the inside corner for a strike. Orioles, if all goes as planned, will be facing Cobb, Archer, and Odorizzi as the 3 starters for the first regular series of the season against the Rays. Swung on and missed. Gets the strikeout.
Pretty nice job right there by Verrett. Couple good fastballs. Here's the nasty slider down and in. Swinging right over the top of it. Nice call by Aaron Sebia. See how he reaches out there. Catch that ball cleanly.
Verrett gets 2 down here in the 7th inning. Taylor Motter, strikeout victim. Only at bat he's had. Will take it away for a ball. Verrett, only 24 years old. He had 28 starts with Las Vegas, AAA ball, 11-5. Had a good 4.33 ERA at Vegas. His starts tied for the most in the Pacific Coast League last year. Now the Orioles taking a look at this Rule 5 player. 1-1 delivery on the way, off-speed breaking ball. You don't keep them on the roster. You have to return them to the team from whence they came. So it's always a tough decision. And for the Orioles, made even tougher by the fact they've got some numbers in that bullpen we talked about earlier. Towards third base, that'll be scooped up. Manny Machado makes a running throw. Well, good inning. Barrett gets him up. 7th inning stretch time here in Sarasota. 3-1, Rays. have been busy. So has our young man, the reader right there, Max Harmon. For the Orioles and the Rays, it's been about pitching in the ball game, especially early on. And for the Bird, it's about another busy day, trying to keep everybody happy. Orioles finally got hits. 6th inning, Hardy delivering the RBI to put the Orioles on the board. And J.J. Hardy is joining us now here in this ball game. J.J., how you doing here this spring as far as where you want to be? Getting it done?
Yeah, holding up pretty good. Body feels good. Still kind of working on some things at the plate, but that'll come with time.
Look good today. Drove the ball
Thanks,
pretty
Gordy.
well.
Appreciate that,
What were you working on today?
Just trying to drive the ball.
Do you focus on something different every game at the plate?
Pretty much every at bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm working on stuff. I'm just, when I start to get too technical and think about mechanics and stuff, I got no chance. So I just really got to think about seeing the ball and driving it.
Hey, JJ, how hard is it in spring training? Hey, you're a veteran guy now to understand the routine. You get your ground balls in, but to really tie it all in with a game, don't you start getting antsy about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, you learn to do what you got to do to get ready for basically April 6th. And, it's coming along pretty good this year.
You had a chance to get a pretty good look from behind. Brian Mattis pitching today. He looked pretty good. How about from where you saw it?
Yeah, real nice. I just like the way that he attacks hitters and works fast. So we like playing behind that.
You guys in the infield, well, position players aren't going to mind the rule changes to speed up the game or hope to speed up the game, are you?
No, I'm not. If this works, I think it'll be great.
Well, Orioles pitchers typically work fast anyway.
Yeah.
You have to worry about the other teams.
Exactly.
JJ, congratulations on the RBI and the double today, and we'll talk to you soon again.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. JJ Hardy for the Orioles coming out of the ball game after the start at shortstop. Zarate saw on the mound here, coming on in relief. Pierce at the plate. Steve is grounded out, flied out. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As the Rays have really gone through the travel roster. A lot of number of non-rostered players on this team who have made the trip. Pitch away to Pierce, and the count goes to 2-2. These spring training divisional games against opponents that you're going to see a lot of sometimes can be a little tricky. Buck Showalter, especially in the second half of spring training, doesn't like to show his pitchers to division teams. You're trying not to let the guys on the side you're going to face 18 or 19 times have a good look at your staff.
Yeah, right. Don't want to give them any more at bats than they're going to get during the regular season. They're facing them so many times. You don't want to tip things off. Maybe a guy's having a problem fielding in spring training. Things like that will potentially show up during the season.
That ball, he was out in front of it a little bit. Will it carry? Wind blowing left field, way back. Goodbye, home run, Steve Pierce. And the Orioles make it a one-run ball game as Pierce delivers the dinger leading off the 7th.
That's what Steve was waiting for. Something he could catch out in front, get it up in that jet stream. Get him going, and this Orioles offense as they tack another one on the board. Take a look at this offering. Just a hanging breaking ball, stays up in the zone, and yeah, he might have got his weight out on the front foot, but look at that extension with the bat head. He knew it on contact.
First spring training home run for Steve. And the Orioles make it a 3-2 Rays lead. Only the Orioles' third hit. That one sliced to right field, hit hard, line drive. Butler over to get it. And Manny Machado's retired, and 0 for 3 for Manny on the day, but hit the ball hard.
Ball hard and made some great defensive plays.
On the home run by Pierce, the Orioles have picked up their 8th spring training home run. Here is Delman Young. Young is lined out, drawn a walk in the ball game. Steve Geltz, the last Rays pitcher, worked an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. Now Robert Zarate, non-roster invitee, that's foul back, has played professional baseball with the Jays, then went to Japan for a few games, and it was only a few games in independent baseball. He is out of Venezuela, left-hander, 28. 0-2 delivery, and that's up high. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
You can see he's got a pretty good arm. That fastball getting up in the mid-90s. No mistake with the breaking ball to Pierce. But you better be able to locate. We saw Manny get on the fastball, driving it to right field.
1-2 delivery. Suarte did something I don't think many players have done who play at any time in the majors. He spent most of the time in the Japanese minor leagues. Not the Japanese professional leagues that we hear about, but on minor league teams. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Ground ball's going to go to short. Lee up with it. 2 down.
Delman running good down the line. Big guy runs very well.
Surprising speed. He fools a lot of infielders who don't get to see him a lot, who look at him and just figure on the size side of it, he's probably not going to go too fast, and in fact he does.
Yes, he does.
2 away, 7th inning, run in, home run Pierce. Here's J.P. Arancibia gets his first at bat. And Arancibia will take the strike from the left-hander. Arancibia here this spring, he's had 11 at bats, 1 hit. And a timeout asked for at the plate and received. Oh, 1 delivery to him outside for a ball. Looking at the rules again today, we talked about batters have to stay in the box. Have 1 foot out. The umpire will keep an eye on that. Warnings can be given. Fines can be issued. 1-1. The umpire can also call a strike. If the batter refuses to step in, the umpire can give him a warning, say get in, and if he doesn't, even with the pitcher not throwing a pitch, he can say strike 1 or strike 2 or God forbid strike 3.
Well, I think strike 1, and we might
get
have
the
a
message
problem.
Right. 1-2 delivery on the way. That hasn't really been talked about in regards to the hitters having to stay in the batter's box, but that's something umpires have been able to do for some time under the rules, and under the new rule that's still there. So if you don't get back in and the umpire wants to, he can just say strike 1. Ball fouled off the end of the bat. I think it would be far more effective in keeping hitters in the batter's box than a fine. The strike matters.
I agree.
See the other changes, pace of game. The manager's got to stay in the dugout during challenges. Hitters have got to keep 1 foot in the box. That's what we're talking about. Players have to start quicker after the TV breaks than they have in the past. The clock will run in the ballpark. Swing and a miss. Didn't want to go. Couldn't hold up on it. So Arancibia is retired. A run on a hit. No errors. Nobody left. Steve Pierce delivers. Long ball, his first this spring. And has made this a 3-2 Rays lead. 3-2 lead as we go to the 8th inning here in Sarasota. And for the Orioles, some more changes. Sopo has come on to play in left field for the Orioles. Paredes is going to play at third base. Manny Machado now out of the ball game. And Everett Cabrera will come on to play at second base. So those are your defensive changes here for the Orioles. As we go to the 8th inning, now we got Cabrera moving over to short, I guess.
That's how versatile these guys are. They're all over the place.
Nix has gone from shortstop to second base. Natuyasa Sopo, though, is still in left. Velez will get the at-bat. First time up for him. Came on to play in the outfield. And the Orioles cutting into this, what was a 3-0 ball game, not getting a hit till the 6th inning. Now back within one. Verrett's on the mound and pitching his second inning of relief work. So you see how much the Orioles want to take a look. Generally, when you get to this point of a game in the bullpen, you're talking about one inning for everybody, but they want to see this guy pitch because right now they would like to have him on the team. They want to see if that's going to hold up for the rest of spring training. Rule 5. Ball lashed to center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So Velez is on with his first at bat, a single. Leadoff single here in the 8th.
Pretty good piece of hitting right there. But definitely they can extend Verrett. He started in the past, so giving him extra innings is no problem. It helps them keep their eye on him. And it helps him because he's got to prepare for the season as well, whether it's with the Orioles or the Mets or another team.
Maile will get his first at-bat. Pretty good lead at first and an outside corner strike called. There are the numbers. Luke Maile so far here in spring training. Infield. They'll play for 2. Holding runners, a big deal in Buck Showalter's mind regarding pitchers. One of the things you have to do if you're going to be on Buck Showalter's staff. Your time to the plate has got to be right, and you've got to be able to hold runners on. 0-1. Pretty good lead over there, and he's as far as he can go, as you can see, diving back in.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to run. So keeping him close, trying to keep him guessing a little bit.
Maile waiting for a pitch here. Count is 0-1. Runner not going. Maile will take the pitch inside. The 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, now in this Orioles organization, you talk about pitchers being quick to the plate. There won't be a pitcher in the organization that gets called to the big leagues that isn't quick to the plate because it is a policy now in the whole organization. The only players they have to work with are players that come in from other organizations.
Off the end of the bat and foul. Yeah, Buck Showalter, again, he's done it as long as he's been here, but this year in particular, the meetings with the people involved in pitching from one end of the organization to the other was made very clear.
Yes.
This is what we're doing. Stay with it.
Absolutely.
At the minors.
And it doesn't appear like any of the pitchers that have had to make that transition that it affected them at all. No. As a matter of fact, it's helped all the Orioles pitchers.
Yep. 1-2 the count. Real concern over there. Velez on at first base, drawing the throws and the attention of Verrett. He's looked like he wanted to go, but he hasn't taken off. 1-2 delivery on the way. Hit the third. There's one. Relay to first. Hits the runner. Runner will stay.
There you go. Line drive. And Paredes over there at third, who's been having a great spring himself. You see him get his feet off the ground, stick with that ball, and it's nice to see him just air it out. Let it go a little bit. Hit the runner in the back, but Parmalee there just to make sure. Gives chase. But Buck Showalter likes the way Paredes has been playing. He turned some double plays at second base yesterday and looked real good as well.
One down, runner remains at first. Here is Nick Franklin with good speed. Paredes will move in on the cut of the grass at third. Always listen, like when Bobby Dickerson, we were talking with him earlier, Mike, listen to the names that are mentioned by managers and coaches, just kind of in passing. Paredes was one of those that Bobby Dickerson, talking about infielders who got a shot at it, said, and don't forget,
right,
that it's the between the line stuff. You get an insight as to what they're thinking about individual players, and obviously, as you said, this third baseman has Bobby Dickerson's attention and Buck Showalter.
Yeah, well, Paredes out of options, switch hitter. You put him on the waiver wire, and I don't think he's going to last a second. So see what you have. I think last year Buck really liked the way he swung the bat. You know, his versatility being a switch hitter, and now that he's proven his defense is shoring up a little bit, he just continues to gain Buck's trust, and you get Bobby talking about him. You know, that means he's getting close. He looks really good.
Big lead over there at first base. Velez not going, though, and the pitch will be taken down low, and the count will go to 2-1. That's one of the problems this season that the Orioles have not had as much of in the past few years, and that's options. The Orioles have had, over the past few seasons, the ability to move players up and down as needed a number of times.
Right.
Much fewer of those opportunities this year.
Oh, my. There's 21 players that don't have options.
Got him! So the attention paid off, Mike, as he picks him off at first base.
Yeah, I showed him a couple moves there, and he kept extending, getting out there, and he was leaning on that one. Great pickoff throw. Nice tag by Parmalee going to the back corner of the base to get him, and, yeah, he was out, not even close.
So now there are 2 down and a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Franklin. I want you to go back there and talk about the option situation, because it really does matter.
2-2. 19 players, though, that are out of options. So they have to stay in the major leagues with the Orioles, or, you know, maybe a deal can potentially be worked out. And then you include the 2 Rule 5 players, Garcia and Barrett. So that totals 21 players. So there's not a lot of room, you know, for guys to get sent down. And some of the players that do have options, McFarland, who's been such a huge factor in the success of the bullpen, Clevenger, of course, Flaherty, who is the Orioles' playoff machine. Of course, Manny, but I don't see him being sent out. And Jonathan Scope as well. So, you know, there's some big-name players right there that have options, but have contributed to the success of this team.
Decisions. Good job by Barrett. Couple of innings. Strikes him out. 3-2 Rays. .15 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected. Live radio broadcast, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app. Live baseball. With Mike Bordick, I'm Gary Thorne. Great to have you with us here in Sarasota. As the Orioles down by 1 will face Juan Marinas.
Yeah, Marinas coming over from the White Sox, 3 games this year. Nothing on the board for an earned run average. 3 punch-outs, 1 walk. Trying to find himself a spot as well.
But some opportunities with the Rays, especially in that bullpen, which was not as good last year as they wanted it to be. Their bullpen was ranked 9th in earned run average compared to their starters ranked 2nd. That's a killer, and it ended up with a 77-85 mark, and they were 19 games out of first place behind the Orioles. Everett Cabrera getting his first at bat. He's hitting in the 9 spot at the moment as we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-9-1 for the Rays, 2-3-0 for the Orioles. Home run by Steve Pearce, accounting for the Orioles' last run. RBI double by Hardy for the first one. Home run by Rene Rivera, 2-run shot, 4th inning for the Rays. Gave them a 2-0 lead, then a double by Kiermaier in the 6th. Put them on top 3-0 at that time. The Orioles didn't get a hit till the 6th. Now are within 1.
Buck Showalter talking with AAA manager Ron Johnson. The pieces Johnson's trying to put together as well for his AAA team. A lot of them out in the field potentially now with Nix and Parmalee and Navarro out there. And when you talk about the success of an organization, obviously player development means you have to teach guys possibly the fundamentals of the game, but they also have to learn how to win. So Johnson would love to have a good team.
Diving catch made by Motter at third. Nice play. It wasn't hit that hard, but he timed it as it was sinking on him towards foul territory.
Well, nice job with 2 strikes by Cabrera, though. Staying on a pitch. Hitting it pretty hard the other way. Always tough to see coming out of the stands in spring training, but pretty good diving play right there.
So 1 down here in the 8th inning. Shift being put on against David Lowe in the lineup. David's getting his first at bat as he battles for a spot. Lowe will ground that one outside of first base and foul.
See David Lowe's batting average at 118. The second half of last season really picked it up. Had a slow start, lost a lot of playing time coming out of spring training, and he's looking to turn things around this year. There is a golden opportunity for David Lowe. He can get his swing down, make more consistent contact, get on base as he can run, and he's a great defender. And just a little bit better than last year, and you're going to see a lot of David Lowe.
Takes the strike to foul ball. 0-2 with 1 away. Marinas on the mound, 26 years old, 9 years of pro ball and only 6 major league games with Florida back in 2010 and the White Sox in 2012. Cups of coffee. Goes the other way, gets a base hit. Stroke that one against the shift. Wouldn't have been handled in the shift or regular alignment, and a 1-out single for Lowe.
It's a beautiful piece of hitting right there from David Lowe. Not trying to do too much. Stayed inside the baseball. Nice clean single back up the middle.
Now let's see what the Orioles can do with it. Nix coming up. Came on as a pinch runner in the 6th inning after the Hardy RBI double. And now we'll get an opportunity here with only 1 away. Lowe with some speed. Marinas may take a look over there as Lowe edges off with a pretty good lead, not going anywhere. Breaking ball is going to miss. For Nix, only let's see, 15 at bats so far this spring, 3 hits, a home run, and RBI.
Yeah, he's played everywhere though. Very versatile player. He has some quality time in the major leagues. If he gets there this year, it'll be his 6th season. He's been with a few different teams.
Runner goes, throw down high, and he is in. Beat it with plenty of time to spare. So Lowe gets himself in scoring position with a stolen base.
Nice job by David Lowe. Good jump here. Quick glance in to make sure the hitter doesn't swing, and then a little hook slide in the back corner. Hooking that foot. Take a look. This is old school right here. Nice. Got the pants pulled up, stirrup showing.
Only the second stolen base the Orioles have had this spring. Machado's got the other. Nobody there. Oh, my. Nice play. Just warming up. Just warming up. Wanted to see if you were with me out there. Brian Brett.
I'll tell you what. That was pretty impressive that he even threw it in his direction over there.
Yeah.
Got the beard of spring, though. That's a good beard.
That's that may be the longest I've seen this spring.
Yeah.
For those on the field. That's a pretty good beard. It's fully grown. Lots of animals in there. And probably right now he's really alert. After
Get a little closer to second.
Jason Nix 1-1. And a breaking ball will miss outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Jason Nix actually on the World Series roster for the Royals last year, so playoff experience.
2-1 delivery on the way, and high heater in at 93 miles an hour. And Morales gets it to a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles just 1 base hit away from tying this ball game up here in the 8th inning. Now have 4 hits to the 9 put up by the Rays. That wind still blowing out to left field. Morales with a 2-2 delivery. Nix will take a breaking ball. That one's going to miss. So the count goes 3-2 with first base open. Zarada, the pitcher before, had 1 inning work for the Rays. Gave up a run and a hit. The home run by Pierce had a strikeout. 3-2 delivery. Fastball missed. So the Orioles will get the walk. That's only the second walk they picked up from Rays pitchers today. And it puts 2 on, 1 away. Henry Urrutia.
Great at bat from Nix. Urrutia, good opportunity here. Tie this game. Keep the threat on for the Orioles. Urrutia, nice spring training. You see his batting average of 400, 4 RBIs. Like to add to that total.
He's had a couple of doubles, extra base hits here this spring. Shortstop holding the runner at second, inside out foul ball. Urrutia fouls it away, and an 0-1 count. Urrutia's kind of an interesting player for the Orioles. What do you do with him?
Boy, it's tough. It really is. I think coming into camp, you look at Urrutia, and he's put on some pounds as far as strength goes. He's in working hard in the weight room. He wants to be here as bad as any player in the big leagues, and I'd love to see him pull the ball a little bit more.
Straightaway center field. Tagging up at second base and moving over is Lowe. That took the center fielder. I guess he was just giving up third base on that. He didn't make any attempt to get the ball back in any hurry.
Almost looked like he thought there were 3 outs.
Yeah.
So good job by David Lowe. Nice swing by Urrutia. Very free and easy. Got the head to it, and that ball jumped off his bat.
So 2 down, runners at first and third. No chance for Nix to tag up. He was at first base. He had gone halfway. So he didn't have any chance to tag up. Lowe, of course, having the play right there at second. Went back to the bag. If it falls in, he's going to score. Anyway. Parmalee to the plate. Parmalee getting his first at bat. 2 down, 8th inning, 2 on. And that one swung on, not foul tipped. Just bounced off the plate, looked like, and a strike.
And those are the type of situations when you see hitters swing at sliders that are buried hard down in the dirt. They're thinking one thing, fastball, and they sell out. They don't get it. Typically, you're going to see swings like that, but at least they had 2 more strikes to work with.
Parmalee's had a 3 for 13 this spring, 1 double, no RBIs. Another one that bounces. Nice stop made. As the catchers blocked the last two, saving a run to score from third, it would tie this ball game up.
Yeah, that makes a pitcher feel good. When you have faith in your catcher, you can throw a nasty slider down in the dirt, and he'd be over there to block it. A couple of real good blocks.
Luke Mailey behind the plate. 1-1 strike delivery on the way, and a ground ball towards second base. Brian Brett makes the play. Orioles get no runs on one hit, leave a couple on. We've completed 8, 3-2 Rays. Brett came on, worked 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit, had a couple of strikeouts. Now here in the 9th inning, the Orioles will go to the left-hander.
Yeah, Wesley Wright looking to keep this game at 3-2. 3 games this spring, 3.60 earned run average. He's looked really good in his 5 innings of work. Couple punch outs, just 1 walk. Got a pretty deceptive delivery. Not a very big guy, 5'11", maybe 6 feet. But he's got a crossbody delivery. He's got a long arm stab in the back, so he can be cause a lot of trouble to lefties. The fastball slider mix.
Last year, right with Chicago, he worked with the Cubs 58 games, only 48 innings. He had an 0-3 record, but an ERA of 3.17, 19 walks, 37 strikeouts. Goes to work here in the 9th inning. Mike Matuk is up. Played deep at short against him, and he goes to third. Short hopped. Paredes with plenty of time. Do or die play on that one.
Yeah, that ball's smoked down there to Paredes. That's when you just become a goalie. You try to knock it down, do what you can to keep it on the infield. You see, it skipped off the dirt. You got to keep it there, and a good throw over to first to get that first out.
So 1 away. That'll bring Lee to the plate. This will be his first at bat. Hug-Soo Lee grounds down to first base. Big hop. Pomerlee will go to the bag. Makes the flip instead to right. Couple of pitches, couple of outs.
Well, that's the way you want to do it if you're Wesley Wright. Trust that defense, get good movement on your fastball, and get some ground balls.
Wright is working for the 4th time. He worked an inning against Detroit, nothing. 2 against Boston, a run and a hit, and 2 against Toronto, a run on 2 hits. He has walked only 1 in those outings and has struck out 2. 5 innings worked coming into this game. So 2 down, nobody on. Here's Ryan Brett. This will be his first at bat in the ball game, and that one is bounced by Wright. 2 down and nobody on. Brett will foul that one off. Brett's only 23 years old. He's out of Seattle. And had a left kidney removed and a hernia surgery months after that. So he's had, over the last couple of seasons, some serious medical work done. Now trying to get back playing ball. Over to right. Rudy is going over, and he will put it away. Right with a very fine and quick inning. The Orioles needs one to keep this game going, 2 to win it. We go to the bottom half of the night. At 11-8 here. It's the bottom half of the ninth inning. As we said, another sellout crowd. 6th for the Orioles here in Sarasota. A 3-2 Rays lead. Riefenhauser is going to come on, C.J. Riefenhauser, to see if he can finish it off for the Rays.
Yeah, he's had himself a good spring. Nothing on the board for an earned run average. 3.2 innings pitched and 3 punch-outs, a couple walks there. So he wants to keep that at 0 and try to keep the Orioles off the bases.
Carnes, their starter, bidding for a job in the rotation. Outstanding effort, 4 innings, couple of strikeouts, gave out nothing. The Orioles were held without a hit until the 6th inning. And they were able to not only pick up the base hit, but also pick up a run. Home run by Pierce made it 3-2, and that's where we are going into the 9th inning. Wayne Kirby, first base coach of the Orioles, talking about, looks like, getting a lead off first.
Yeah, he's talking about his jump, stealing a base instead of coming up, staying low. For the secondary lead right there. A lot of runners. Now, David Lowe, exceptional speed, but if mechanics are off, anybody can slow down. So when you steal a base, you don't want to come directly out of your squat, stand straight up and run. You want to kind of stay low and use your legs to drive. Eventually, you will come up. But if you come up too soon, you're just going to slow yourself down.
So the Orioles, Paredes will lead it off. Jimmy Paredes for the Orioles. Against the left-hander. And that will be fouled off. Riefenhauser is 25 years old. Pitched last season with the Rays in just 7 games. He was mostly at AAA Durham, 39 appearances and 57 innings of work in relief. And the left-hander Riefenhauser trying to save a 1-run ball game. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. Paredes coming up with a fine play at third base for the Orioles. Now trying to get him a leadoff man on here. And that one's going to be way up high. Paredes has done well at the plate. He's had 6 hits, 16 at bats, a couple of RBIs.
Yeah, swinging it from both sides of the plate. You know, he's still very young, too. Just 26 years of age. Orioles, very young team.
2-1 delivery. Came down and in on him. Fouled it back. That'll be behind the screen and out of play. 2-2. Showalter having to get a long look at players during games. He was saying the other day, these spring trainings get harder and harder to get things done. What he's talking about is things he would like to work on with his players. There's rarely any time to do it. Once spring training games start, it just the days just roll over. And there seems to be no time to take guys aside and spend special time with them, especially if it's a unit work as a team. 2-2 delivery off the end of the bat, center field. He took his air to put it away. Paredes is retired. 1 down, 9th inning.
Yeah, it is hard, and it gets frustrating for Buck Showalter and his staff that there are more away games here in spring training than home games, so that kind of bites into that team time and the instruction that Buck Showalter wants to give. But trust me, the first week or so, 10 days, when there aren't games, they jam in a lot. They get a lot of work done. There's a lot of video work. They go in and have meetings, and then they back it up on the field. So they get their time in, and Buck Showalter, trust me, will not leave a stone unturned.
Nope. Everything
will be covered and then covered again.
Matt Tuiasosopo coming to the plate. Tuiasosopo entered as a defensive replacement after his first hit this spring. He is 0 for 10. And will take the pitch inside. Jonathan Schoop is waiting on deck. He has not played in the ball game. Ravenhouse's delivery to him. That's going to miss up high. I think if we put these two players' last names together, we might have the most letters pitcher versus hitter. Not sure. Riefenhauser against Tuiasosopo. What do you think?
It's going to be close.
3-0 delivery on the way, and a big swing and a miss. Throttle back on that a bit. Pretty good break on it. And the count goes to 3-1.
Well, that's how you make a quality pitch. 3-0. Good movement. Riding in under the hands of Tuiasosopo. You figure big guy's going to get the green light, so you better execute, and he did there.
Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way. Gets that one in foul back. It was just a challenge me fastball right there. At 90 miles an hour. Tuiasosopo takes the count to 3-2.
Tuiasosopo, great athlete. He can play the infield. He can play both corner positions in the infield, both corners in the outfield, probably center field as well.
3-2. And Riefenhauser's delivery to him and a swing and a miss. Right back with another fastball. Put it up a little bit. And he gets a strikeout, and there are 2 down.
And just elevated the fastball. Nice job getting himself back into the count. Tuiasosopo would like to have another shot at that one. Just swinging through the high fastball.
Jonathan Schoop will be the pinch hitter. Coming off the bench here in this spring training game. 4 hits, 18 at-bats, a home run, 3 RBIs for Jonathan. As he goes against the left-hander, 2 away, bottom of the 9th. Orioles down by a run. And the off-speed pitch had him tied up. 77 miles an hour in there for a strike. Schoop last season, he hit 200 off the lefties, 212 off righties. 0-1 delivery. Riefenhauser gets it in, and it will be foul back.
Well, Jonathan would definitely like to improve, obviously, the batting average from last year, and I think a year under his belt, a little more knowledge about what's going on, maturity, maybe feel a little bit more at ease if he's out there this season. I think you'll see that batting average climb. Power will be there, and you might even see more.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way up high. These teams meeting for the second time this spring. The Orioles, they had a 3-2 win against the Rays earlier at the spring training home of the Rays. Buck Showalter's team now trailing by that same number here in the 9th inning. Kevin Cash's team looking for their 4th win of the spring. Schoop, 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Orioles 12 wins against the Rays last year. 1-2 delivery. Riefenhauser wraps it up. So he comes on, gets a couple of strikeouts. Orioles are retired in order here in the 9th inning. Good pitching all the way around. The Orioles unable to come up with that tying run. Pierce had a home run. Hardy had the RBI double that drove in the other. And Rene Rivera, big 2-run homer, the big hit for Tampa Bay. So that's the 3-2 victory for the Rays. Join us on Tuesday. More spring training action. The O's will be hosting the Minnesota Twins and their new manager, Paul Molitor. Our coverage on Masson will begin at 1. For Mike Bordick and all of our crew here at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Again, our final score, the Rays 3-9-1. The Orioles 2-4-0. This has been a Masson presentation. Adieu.